Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to City of Paterson's Planning Board meeting, special meeting of April 15th, 2024. I'm going to ask everyone to please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm going to also remind everyone that if you're not speaking, please mute yourself so that we don't get any feedback. Okay, when you're ready to talk, then of course you unmute yourself. All right. So give me one moment. Okay, commissioners, planning board staff, ladies and gentlemen, as chairwoman of the City of Paterson's Planning Board, I call the special meeting of the April 15th, 2024 to order. I hereby state that all the provisions of the State of New Jersey Public Meeting Law have been fully and completely met, that the notice of provisions required have been properly posted in the Planning Board office and with the City of Paterson clerk, that the public notice and advertisements have been published in the Herald News on April 5th, 2024 in accordance with the law, and that the copies of such notice and public advertisements are on file in the Planning Board office, as is also the agenda listing the applications to be taken up by the Planning Board at this meeting. Public participation will be available by calling 973-321-1579. The meeting ID number is 8326, and you would press star 1 to listen to the meeting and press star 3 to be added to the speaker queue on the date and time that the meeting is scheduled to commence. The public may also participate in the meeting by accessing the website of the City of Paterson, www.patersonnj.gov, and following the email link for the meeting, which is www.youtube.com/city/City of Paterson NJ City Hall /live. Okay, and tonight's procedures will be in accordance with the rules and regulations and bylaws as heretofore determined by the Planning Board at its office at 125 Ellison Street in the City of Paterson. Madam Secretary, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Claudio.
Present.
Commissioner Fisher.
Present.
Commissioner Hassan.
Present.
Commissioner Roman.
Present.
Commissioner Amar.
Present.
And Madam Chair Northrop.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, so I believe this evening we have two special meetings. I believe the first one is Paterson Triplex LN LLC, and they're at 141-143 East 32nd Street and 145 East 32nd Street, block 8405, lots 22.02 and 22.01. Ms. Farsboot, are you going to be giving the review this evening?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, please proceed.
Sure, thank you.
Let me just ask let me just put it on the record that the attorney for this application is Mr. Sarlo, correct?
Yes.
That's correct, Madam Chairman.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Please proceed, Ms. Farsboot.
Sure. The applicant proposes a merger of the lots and a subdivision of the total combined lot area of the 7,500 square foot parcel into 3 lots. Proposed lots 22A, 22B, and 22C are each to contain a new 3-story, 2-unit dwelling on a proposed 2,500 square foot lot. This proposal is located within the R2 low-medium density residential district. Proposed lots 22A, 22B, and 22C request variances for lot area, 5,000 square feet required and 2,500 square feet proposed. Lot width, 50 feet required and 25 feet proposed. Side yard setback, 4 feet required and 3 feet proposed. Combined side yard setback, 14 feet required and 6 feet proposed. Rear yard setback, 20 feet required and 13 feet proposed. Lot coverage, 40% permitted and 50.7% proposed. parking setback 3 feet required and 0.5 feet proposed, and parking as 2 out of the 4 proposed parking spaces are located in the front yard setback. Requires minor subdivision approval, site plan approval, and bulk variances. Madam Chair, I have to add one more thing, and is that at the time of finalizing the staff report, the property taxes for lot 22.02 was not current, and also there is a lien on property 22.01. The applicant paid the property taxes for lot 22.02 today, but the lien is still outstanding. I believe that Mr. Solo has explanation for that one, so I let him to clarify the issue, but the property taxes are now satisfied, but the only outstanding issue is the lien.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so Mr. Sarlo, can you explain the issue with the lien?
Yes. So when my client was made aware that the taxes were outstanding, in addition to the one lot, which the property taxes were brought current, the other lot actually has a lien on the property. So in order to clear up the lien, you need a redemption certificate from the tax collector that calculates the interest in accordance with the statute. And my client went actually last week to request that. They said it would take a day or two. We anticipated having that today, but apparently some of the computer systems were down today. So that they couldn't produce the accurate number for the payoff for that lien redemption. So the request is given the circumstances of trying to make the payment, but with the computer being down, we would ask that the board proceed with it and certainly withhold the resolution if at that point in time the lien is not brought current.
Madam Chair, that's what
Yes, Mr. Acquaviva.
that's what I was going to suggest, that the resolution couldn't be memorialized until the tax lien is cleared and proof is provided.
Okay, fine. So,
And Madam Chair, I can attest that the system was down that they used to obtain that information.
okay, fine. It does seem that way because, Mr. Deutsch didn't get the link. It just seems like there was some issues. Okay, so we'll take that into consideration. And so, Mr. Sarlo, I would like to ask you to proceed. How many witnesses do you have this evening?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and Commissioners. Good evening, Councilor. Charles Sarlo, on behalf of the applicant. Madam Chairwoman, we have two witnesses. We have the architect and a professional planner.
Okay, so let's start with the architect, please.
Yes. So Nasser, is Nasser on?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay.
Good evening, Nasser. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in the proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
We accept him as an expert witness.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Okay, Nasser, can you please describe to the commissioners the plans that you've presented to the board?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to share the screen, if you don't mind. Do you see the drawings?
No.
Yes, Nasser. Go ahead. Just
Yes.
if you could zoom it, get rid of the side legend so that it could increase the view.
Is that better?
Well,
Yes.
maybe- yeah.
Right? I don't see it. It's gone. Now it got
Okay, no,
smaller.
yeah, he'll just have to zoom in as he describes each section.
Yeah, there's always a delay, I believe, in the screen sharing. So again, this is 141, 143, and 145 East 32nd Street. This property is located in the R2 district. It's on the easterly corner. It's on the easterly side of East 32nd and 100 feet from the corner of 12th and East 32nd Street. This is the location map. And then this is the zoning map, which clearly indicates that it's in the R2 zoning district. The proposal is to merge two lots, resulting in 75 by 100 square foot lots, and subdividing those two lots after the merger into 325 by 100 lots. The existing site plan, I'm zooming into it right now, and I apologize if you hear the sound of ambulance and fire. I don't know. I'm very close to the St. Joe's Hospital. So this is a 75 by 100 lot. There's an existing garage there, masonry garage. There's an existing foundation. And then there's a driveway also. There are some steps. So the proposal is to clear the site and have it ready to receive the proposed 3 two-family dwellings. This is the proposed site plan. Each lot would be 25 in width and 100 deep. And we are proposing 4 parking spaces for each of the proposed two-family dwellings. We do have a variance parking in the front of the in the front yard and the 20-foot required front yard setback. However, we believe that providing parking is outweighs the compliance with the 20-foot yard setback requirement. Excuse me. In terms of the front elevations, we do depict that on the first sheet. In terms of the height, we do comply with the height. 22A is the one further to the left. And then lot 22B is the one in the middle, and 22C is the one all the way to the right. And we mirrored 22B. It's basically the same layout we tried to create with the roof lines, a little bit of variation. This way, it doesn't give you that one design layout for the three dwellings, so that each one would look slightly different from the other one. And we're proposing to have stucco finish and siding finish there. I'm not going to go over the variances because there's a planner who's going to talk more about the variances.
Okay.
On the second page, SP01, we are providing the stormwater calculations. These are very technical, and it's subject to the review and approval of the city engineer. And it is in compliance with the City of Paterson requirements in terms of the stormwater management and zero runoff into the street. SP02, we are providing a soil erosion and sediment control plan. And also we're providing, because the sidewalk, new curb cuts, new sidewalk throughout the 75-foot frontage, we have to, excuse me, to provide new sidewalk, new curbs, new paving details, and what have you. Going to the architectural floor plans, the architectural A01, the drawing all the way to the left is the ground floor. I'm going to zoom to that. So here, there would be a garage that would contain 2 parking spaces. And then towards the rear, there's a storage area, 440 square feet. This would belong to the second floor apartment only, with access from the garage. There's also a mechanical room. And we're also providing an enclosure for the refuse and recycle. This would be accessible from the outside by double doors, and it would, we believe this would keep the property in neat condition. The second floor would contain the 2 main entrances. We do have separate entrances. The one to the left leads to the, we call it apartment number 1, which would be the apartment for the second floor. And then the entrance to the right leads you to a staircase that goes up to the 3rd floor apartment. As you enter, there would be 4 risers to the living space, living, dining, and kitchen. And then towards the rear, we have 3 bedrooms. We have 2 bedrooms with 1 bathroom here. And then we are providing a laundry closet that would have its own, each unit would have its own washer and dryer unit. And then we have the master bedroom with his and her closets, and it has its own master bathroom. In terms of the square footage, this apartment is 1,152 square feet, which is way above the minimum requirement for a 3-bedroom unit. If we go up to the 3rd floor, access to this apartment, as I mentioned, through the main entrance door to the staircase, and then you go up, landing between the dining room and the living room. This apartment is slightly larger because it has this extra space here in the living room towards the front. But it's basically almost mimics the layout of the 2nd floor apartment. You have living, dining, and kitchen open layout concept. And then you have the laundry room, a bathroom, 2 bedrooms, and you have the master bedroom, his and her closets, and a master bathroom. We also are proposing to have a pull-down attic access ladder, and this would be the attic space. This would be used only for storage and mechanicals for the 3rd floor unit. This is for lot 22B. The layout for lot 22A is similar, but as I mentioned, we mirrored the layout. So here you have the parking spaces on the right side of the dwelling rather than on the left side, just to create some diversity there. We have an enclosure here for the recycle and refuse, and we have the mechanical room towards the rear. And then we have a storage area for the 2nd floor unit, 440 square feet. The layouts are pretty much the same as I explained before for lot 22B. This is for 22A. The living room and dining room would be on the right side. The kitchen would be on the left side. And then we have 2 bedrooms, laundry room, bathroom, a master bedroom with 2
Counselor?
closets, and a master bathroom. I'm sorry? Okay, and then the 3rd floor would be pretty much the same also, and the attic space would belong to the 3rd floor unit, storage and mechanicals only. Lot 22C, which would be all the way to the right side, is identical to lot 22A, the layout. In terms of the elevations, the side and rear elevations are identical. The bottom portion, which would usually it would be masonry for the garage area, the 1st floor, and then the 2nd and 3rd floors would be siding. And then here you see the access doors for the refuse and the recycle bins storage area. Again, the height is in compliance, 32 feet. I believe this is the last page. This concludes my testimony.
Are we good?
Yes, I am good.
Mr. Sarlo, you can continue.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you, Nasser. I have no direct follow-up questions at this point in time. If the commissioners have any questions for Nasser, that'd be appreciated.
Right now, I'd like you to bring your other witness in, and then I'll open it up to questions for both.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Okay, we have as our second witness, Mr. Alex McLean, professional planner from John McDonough's office. Alex, are you on?
Yes, I'm on.
I think I need to stop sharing because I believe Alex has some exhibits, right?
Yes, I do.
If that's okay. Okay.
Okay, Alex, please raise your right hand and let's get sworn in by the Madam Secretary.
Yeah, just state your name for the record, please, sir.
Yes, my name is Alexander McLean. Last name is McClean.
And see, oh, your hand's raised. Okay, do you swear the testimony about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Can we hear his credentials, please?
Alex, for the benefit of the commissioners, can you please put on your educational and experience credentials?
Yeah. So I hold a master's in city and regional planning from Rutgers University. I am also a member of the American Institute of Certified Planners, and I'm also licensed by the State Board of Professional Planners. I testified throughout boards throughout the state.
Okay, thank you. We accept him as an expert witness. Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Okay, Alex, you were on during the testimony of the architect, is that correct?
I was, yes.
Okay, and you're familiar with the application and the site in the neighborhood?
I am, yes.
Okay, so why don't you go through and list the variances that are being requested and put on the necessary proofs?
Right. So, so we're looking at, as noted before, eight C variances. So we're looking at really C2 variances as a result of the proposed subdivision with the 3 lots. But just to get the board orientated for planning purposes, I have exhibits that I was going to share with the board.
Yes, please.
Mr. McLean, have you submitted those to the board prior to tonight?
No.
Okay, Mr. Aquaviva, we have to mark these, correct? And as soon as you can, please email those PDFs of and the originals, mark them with Exhibit A1 and today's date and your initials, and send them to my office, please.
Sure, will do. Okay, let me share my screen. Can everyone see?
Yes.
All right.
Now, Alex, before we start, these exhibits, they were prepared either by yourself or under your direction?
Yeah.
Okay, and as you go through them, please just describe them and let's mark them Exhibit A-1, A-2, et cetera, with the date. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So the first page of this exhibit is just the parcel map. We get the tax lot here. So it identifies the lots in question here, the lot 2201 and lot 22.02, block 8405, sorry. This was just prepared to just kind of give the board an idea of the dimensions of the lot, since the lot widths is one of the issues here in terms of requiring some of the variance relief that's being sought. So as you can see, that the existing lots here are pretty narrow, and one of the so we're looking at the required minimum lot width is 50 feet, and we're proposing 25 for each of the proposed subdivided lots. So this is so throughout this block, all of the lots here are below the minimum required. So just want to note that for the record. So they're all undersized. This is an aerial image of the site in question. There was prior to the demolition, the property was improved with a 3-story home. I believe it was a single-family home, and you can see some of the surrounding land uses in the area. You have some two-family homes here, which is so what we're proposing is consistent with what's in the character of the neighborhood. And this is facing east. So what you're seeing here on the road on the right side, that's 12th Avenue, and going toward 33rd Street. And across this, I'm sorry, I'm going to turn around here. So on the next page here, you see right on the other side of 32nd Street, you see the other residences and the other land uses in the surrounding area. So you have a pretty large multifamily. It's 2 stories right across the street. And then you have some single family homes to the right of that development. So this area is, it's used to density. So what we're proposing is not a deviation from the existing character of the neighborhood. So with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if I can, how I do that.
Tony, and how does he stop sharing? Do you know how to stop share the screen?
It's right. Just move it over your the mouse over to the top of the screen, and you can stop sharing there.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Can we talk? Can someone talk a little bit about the variances?
Yeah. So I was going to get into that. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So this property is in the city's R2 low density residential zoning district, and we're looking at the applicants proposing in this district, residential buildings would be from 2-family residential buildings are permitted in this district. So we are in compliance with the use requirements. As noted before, we're looking at 8 variances related to lot area, lot width, side yard setback, combined side yard setback, rear yard setback, maximum lot coverage, parking setback, and parking. With respect to the justification for the variance relief, I'll just get into the positive criteria. So I believe that this application would substantially outweigh any detriment, and by advancing multiple purposes of the MLUL, specifically purpose A for the promotion of general welfare, since the proposed residences would replace would be an improvement in, and obviously it's going to replace a formerly abandoned residential structure that was an eyesore in this community, and provide fresh housing stock that'll be up to modern living standards. Purpose B for from securing safety from fire, flood, panic, and other natural man-made disasters, since these subdivided lots will be developed in accordance with all local building and fire codes. Purpose G for providing sufficient space in appropriate locations, as the proposed development would take place in the permitted zoning district, and the units would be comfortably sized. As noted by the architect, these are pretty large units, two on each lot. Purpose I, obviously for the promotion of a desirable visual environment by providing 3 new attractive residential buildings. And finally, in purpose M, for the promotion of efficient land use by maximizing the number of permitted residential units in place of a former single-family home, and that was an underutilized lot. With respect to the negative criteria, I believe that relief can be confidently granted without substantial detriment to the public good and substantial impairment to the intent and purpose of the zone plan and the ordinance. Since the city's 2014 master plan identifies that there were too many abandoned homes, and that the rehabilitation of existing substandard properties as a citywide problem that needed to be addressed. And the proposed development would advance goal 1 of the city's housing goals, which calls for providing a variety of housing types that will attract and retain a mix of residents from various socioeconomic backgrounds. So, and in consideration of all the points that I made just now, and the area, the character, and the improvement that this proposal would mean to the neighborhood, I believe that this project represents good planning and that relief is warranted.
Mr. Arlo, is that the end of his
Thank-
testimony?
Yes, Madam Chairwoman. If the commissioners have any questions for either of the professionals?
Yeah, I'm going to open it up to the public. So if there's anyone, let me just get my notes so I've got the right phone numbers here. If anyone in the public has any questions of either of these witnesses, and this is for questions only. If you have any questions for either witness, you may call in at 973-321-1579. And you can press *3 to be added to the speaker queue. Okay, so I'm going to give it a few minutes just to make sure that it connects. And anyone having questions, I'll give them 3 minutes each for each person that gets on the line. So let's just give it 1 or 2 minutes so we can see if Ryan has any calls. Madam Secretary, is there anyone waiting in the queue?
I'm waiting on a response from Ryan.
Okay.
No callers, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, I would like to make a motion to close the public portion. Do I have a second? Someone open their mic.
Aye.
Okay, so Commissioner Claudio seconded, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. All right, so I'm going to open it up to the commissioners. Commissioners, any questions of these witnesses? Commissioner Amar.
Okay, I think I understand, but I just want to clarify. The parking lots, the parking that they're offering is 2 spaces under, like inside,
In the garage.
and the other 2 spaces outside the garage?
I believe that is, yes.
That's correct,
Answer?
Commissioner. Yes,
That's
that's correct, Commissioner.
Okay, but can we count an outside the space parking? What if it's if there is an emergency exit from the cars inside the garage and they take long to move their cars? Is that considered a parking? A legal parking?
Yeah, it's code compliance, basically. So in terms of exits, we have to provide exits from the dwellings themselves, and we do comply with that, and parking as well. I can provide a door and a man door from the enclosed parking also to
That's
provide
not-
an exit.
I'm sorry, I don't think you got my question. Mr. Acquaviva. My question is, if someone needs to take their car in case of emergency, let's say the tenant has an emergency and he needs to take their car out, but there's two other cars parking that doesn't belong to him. Do we count those 2 parkings outside the building as a parking?
My understanding, and I guess I would defer to our planner for that. My understanding is that there are 6 parking spaces proposed, 2 of them being in the front yard setback. And I don't believe a variance is required for the 4, but a variance is required for the 2 parking in the front yard setback. As far as am I correct in that?
That's correct.
That is correct. Actually, the applicant needed the variance for the front yard the parking in the front yard setback. So
Right,
it's all
but
the
Commissioner-
arrangement
So
issue.
Commissioner, basically, they are providing 6 parking spaces, which satisfies the requirement. However, the variance is for the 2 parking spaces in the front, which is not permitted by ordinance. That's what they're seeking a variance for.
Mr. Acquaviva, but when we're gonna do a subdivision, okay?
Mhm.
Each 2 apartments require 4 parking. The two each house each 2 family requires 4 parking spaces, right?
Yes, and we're providing the 4.
yes.
Correct. That's correct,
You're
Commissioner.
providing
The
only
total-
2. The other 2
total-
are outside the parking lot. That's what I'm asking.
Correct.
You
Total.
cannot combine the 6 of them because they're only providing 2 inside each building.
No,
But they're getting a variance.
They're satisfying the parking requirement. In other words,
Yeah, they
even if they didn't provide the 2 in the front, they're satisfying the parking requirements. 4 parking spaces are required, 4 are being provided. They're actually proposing 2 extra parking spaces in the front to satisfy the parking requirement even further.
What I saw in the and I'm sorry to keep repeating myself, but what I saw in the plans is that it's only 2 per apartment, 2 cars inside and 2 outside. Isn't that right?
2 per
2
lot.
per apartment, per lot,
No, the total required is 4.
per
And-
lot.
Yes, and we're providing 4.
And
So
they're
we don't have a
providing, yes.
parking, we don't have a parking variance in terms of the count of number of spaces
You are providing 2 inside
and 2 outside.
and 2 outside. So you're providing only 2 inside. That's what I'm asking. The outside.
But they're on the lot.
Each.
But they are on the lot, which means it's off-street parking, so you can count them toward the parking requirement.
That was my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fisher?
Yes, you got me? My question is, you have, that area on 32nd Street, I grew up in that area, I know it very well. You're right about the, the density, whatever, but you're taking, correct me if I'm wrong, you're taking a lot and a half and you're putting 3 units on it, is that correct?
It's
I'm
hard
sorry.
for me to hear
I'm
you.
having a hard time understanding you, Commissioner.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, hold on,
it's your
I-
microphone or something.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and then you got
hold on. Hold on.
blurry, not blurry,
Take
but
these headphones off.
Sorry, 1 second. Is this
Yeah,
better?
better.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yes, very good.
Well, my question is, there's a lot, it's a lot and a half, correct? That's being putting 3 buildings on the lot and a half, is that correct? I can't hear you for some reason.
Yes, Commissioner.
Audio, wait a minute. Hold-
Take your microphone off. Commissioner Fisher, take your microphone off.
Hold on. I don't think he's aware that he's muted. Hold on.
You're muted.
Oops.
Now you.
How's
there
that?
you go. That's,
Yes,
Your speaker is
hear
not
us?
working. Please check your connections.
but we can
Now I
hear
can't
you.
hear you guys.
You can't
That's
hear
weird.
us?
But if you can hear me,
We can.
everybody can hear me, right?
Yes.
So
Okay, but if you can't hear us, that's a problem.
did you hear my question?
But you hear us, Fisher? You hear us?
So, am I right
You don't.
or am I wrong? Is it 3 units put on 1.5?
All right. He's asking if there are
I'm
2
trying
lots,
I'm trying to.
one
Wait a
large lot, one small lot. He's
I'm
saying
so
in
sorry.
3.
I don't know what happened. When you guys said you couldn't hear me, I took my headphones off and shut them down. Now I can't hear anything. Should have kept them on. Hold on, let me shut this off. So sorry, guys.
You may want to say use computer audio, so then you can hear both. Oh, I don't think he can hear.
Go ahead. Go ahead on without me. I'm trying to find this speaker.
Is it on your, do you have the laptop from the city? I can't hear me.
He cannot hear us, Madam Chair.
He can't hear us, Madam Chair. I'll try to get a hold of him.
All right. Do I have another question on the floor here?
Yeah. I
Yes,
have a question.
Commissioner
I just want to
Hassan.
confirm one thing. Yes, the Mr. Al Nasser, when I think your first architectural design, if you don't mind, can you pull up the very first page? Because in computer we have. Hold on, let me go back in mine, and you can. If you can share your or
Yes.
give me 1 second. Okay, yeah. Very first page, right? Remember when you said there's 3 buildings standing next to, yeah, can you scroll? Where is the 3 buildings then standing next to each other? Yeah, right there. So, I mean, it's a general question. I don't think it's pretty straightforward, I say. So, is there any reason? I think you mentioned the reason, but I can't recall. The middle one, why the entrance is different than the other one? Meaning like, it would have been nice if we have entrance to the left, to the left for each 3 or right on each 3, you know what I mean? That's the way it would have been, look nice. But is there any reason you did that? I mean, you don't have to.
Yes, Commissioner, it's just to create some diversity in terms of the look, because it would be, I don't know, for lack of a better word, maybe boring to have exact same layout on the 3 houses. So we thought if we flip or if we mirror the one in the middle, it would just create some diverse, but if the board's, I mean, in terms of design, it's either way, it's fine. If the board would rather.
It's fine. If you want to have diversity, I was wondering maybe you could put door in the middle, but it's okay. You already did it.
It's difficult to put the door in the middle. Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, it's. I was just curious if you have any reason that okay, I cannot do this. You know what I mean? Like maybe make more room for the the garage or something. But it's the same width, right? For the garage
it's just aesthetics.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. No, you don't have to change anything. It's fine.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Commissioners.
Yes, can you guys hear me and I can hear
Yes.
you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
My question was, as I see the lots, I know the neighborhood very well, grew up there. Question, is it a lot and a half, which I'm trying to see, then you're putting 3 apartments on 3 buildings on there, am I right or no?
Yes, Commissioner. So basically, this is the existing lot.
Right.
So the lot on the left is 22.01. It's already 25 by 100.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lot to the right, which is 22.02, is 50 by 100.
Right.
So the proposal is to merge them and subdivide them into 3 lots.
Okay. My question is, if it's that, why can't it be into 2 lots? Because of the area. Because you mentioned how density it is, so why can't it be 2 instead of 3? It's like we're squeezing it in there. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think the planner did, explain that and the reasons and the positives and the negatives. But this is not out of the ordinary. A lot of the lots in this area are 25 by 100.
No, I understand. I understand that.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Commissioner.
No, you're good. I understand that, but I'm saying, you said he explained it. I didn't hear him explain that well to me. Can he?
Yes, as I noted in the exhibit, so I had done the first page was the parcel map. So on that block, 8405, all those lots are undersized. The widths are all below 50 feet in width. And so what the applicant's proposing here is just a more efficient use of land. So you have these 2 existing lots, one very thin one and a very large one. And what we're doing is, as the architect noted, we're trying to combine it, and we're basically creating equal size lots, and we're trying to maximize the amount of housing that we can provide. And those lots reflect the existing dimensions of the rest of the block. That's what we're trying to aim for. So
Well,
it's two lot.
I kind of understand that. I understand the numbers, but just because you can, do you think you should? And that's the residents, I don't think would like, they would probably want to have 2 instead of 3 in that area. Now, I know you mentioned about the parking, 2 in the garage and 2 outside. It just seems like it's just a little bit too much for me. My opinion.
Well, I just wanted to know, so we're also, each of the units is a pretty comfortable size. I believe it's about 1,200 square feet per unit, and we're talking about two on each lot. So, and
No, the inside, Alex, the inside is fine. I agree. I like the project.
Okay.
I just think, that's just my opinion.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, there I am. All right. I lost something now. So I don't know whether there's something going on in Paterson today with all this
I don't know.
electronics. All right. Any other questions, commissioners? Commissioners?
I have one. Madam
Yes,
Chair.
Commissioner Roman, go ahead.
Is there any rear exits? I don't think.
What
Any
kind of exits?
exits in the rear? Any rear exits?
Oh.
We're not proposing. For 2-family, you need only 1 exit. But if the board, obviously, we can provide that if the board prefers.
I think that would be a good idea.
Sure, we can provide that. No problem.
I honestly think, it is, a lot of people in there. Yeah, I think we need the rear exit for sure.
Sure, we can comply with that. No problem.
Commissioners?
I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyone else?
Just one more.
Yes,
Madam-
Commissioner Roman.
These properties are going to be like for rent, for sale.
Commissioner, they'll most likely be for rent. They'll be rental properties.
Okay. All right. I'm good, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, commissioners?
One last question, I'm sorry.
Yes, Commissioner Amar.
I heard they're saying that there will be an attic with a ladder going down for storage for the third
Yes.
floor. Where is the storage for the second floor gonna be?
Yes, Commissioner, it's on the first floor, as I explained, just behind the 2 parking spaces. There's a storage space.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
No problem.
And but I just want to clarify, the attic portion is strictly for like the air conditioning units and all, if it's for central air and all that stuff, correct?
And storage for the upper floor apartment.
And storage for the upper floor, but there's no bathroom up there or anything else. I couldn't
No.
see it on the plan. Okay, all right.
No.
All right. Commissioners?
I got.
Yes, Commissioner Claudio.
Well, I would recommend not to have e-bikes on the garages.
I agree
At all.
too. That always is what I want, definitely.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Yeah,
that.
no e-bikes, okay,
Oh.
on the property.
Okay,
Not in the garage, nowhere, no e-bikes.
sure.
Anyone else? Okay, everyone's quiet, so I'm going to ask Mr. Sarlo, would you please summarize for us? Actually, I should open it up for comments. Madam Secretary? Do you think I should open it up for comments?
We closed the public portion already.
All right, then we're not opening up for, I would think if anybody was on the line, he would have seen it anyway.
Right.
That's what I think. So, okay. All right. So I'm going to ask Mr. Sarlo to please summarize.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you, Commissioners, for listening to the testimony of the 2 witnesses for this application. Again, in a summary fashion, this is a consolidation of 2 lots and then looking to re-subdivide the consolidated lot into 3 lots. And it was a very good question from the Commissioner, why go from 2 to 3? I think the impetus here is to provide a new stock of housing. I mean, we have these 2 lots had some dilapidated housing. There it is. Part of the master plan is to promote the development of new housing in this particular area, get rid of the substandard housing, and the two lots, as Nasser had pointed out, the architect had pointed out in his exhibits, are lots that are not equal in size. So yes, if these two lots were developed as two lots, it wouldn't really, while it would create more housing, the neighborhood would be not even in terms of uniformity. And from a good planning purpose, it's always good to create some uniformity. That's why you saw the design as it was. You saw the uniformity in terms of the size of the lots. It does create the additional density for the extra unit, which is the extra house, which is 2 more units. But again, that's advances the purpose of the municipal land use law as well as the city's master plan. So one of the purposes of the planner's testimony and what the board has to weigh here is, do the benefits outweigh the detriments? There are a number of variances, and they are all being triggered by the ability to provide good size units that exceed the minimum requirement for the units, but on smaller lots. So clearly we have the side yard setbacks and the rear yard setbacks, and that's a trade-off for providing suitable housing stock. And that's the balancing effect under the C2 variance that the commissioners have to weigh. And as the planner had indicated, in his professional opinion, he believes that the benefits do outweigh the detriments. And again, the term in the statute is substantial detriment. So there has to be a substantial detriment to the character of the neighborhood or substantial detriment to the master plan. And as the planner had indicated, we believe this actually promotes and advances the master plan and the municipal land use law. And we don't think it's a substantial detriment to the character of the neighborhood. The term density was used, and that was actually used in a positive fashion, that this is a neighborhood that is dense. And yes, you may say, well, if it's dense already, why are we putting more housing there? But that terminology was used to show and to evidence that this is not outside the character of the neighborhood, that adding 6 more units is not outside the character of this dense neighborhood. If this was a neighborhood that was on 50 by 100 foot lots and they were all single family, as kind of a alternate scenario, that would then be potentially considered to be a substantial detriment to the character of the neighborhood. But here, what's being proposed, we think, is consistent with the neighborhood scheme, and we believe that the proofs that were provided are satisfactory for the commissioners to vote in favor of this application as presented, with the conditions that the commissioners put on the record during the deliberation. So I thank you for your time and effort, and we would ask that the commissioners vote in a positive fashion.
Madam Chair, I have to
I
interrupt.
understand. I know.
We have to.
We're gonna have
to state it for the record. We have to reopen the public portion. There are 2 people on a queue for public comment.
Yep. Okay. So are they in the queue? I'm going to make a motion right now to open the public portion again so that we can hear their comments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And hold on 1 second. Let me get the first person on.
This is Susan Arschlaner. I hope you can all hear me. Please let me know that you can.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Hello? Okay, so
No, excuse me.
I am the daughter
I'm
of...
sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm just going to ask you to please
Yes, I can.
say your name and address for the record, please.
Okay. First, my name is Susan Arschlaner. That's Arslaner. I am the daughter of the homeowner next door to this property, but I do have power of attorney to represent my mother, so I can give you her name as well as both of our addresses.
That's fine. She can testify. She can testify, Madam Chair.
Yep.
We need the address, ma'am.
Okay, so So my mother is Mrs. Layla Abaz, and her address is 139 East 32nd Street, right next door to that property.
Okay,
Can
we
you
have
just
it.
spell the last name of
Okay,
your mom?
so
Excuse me. Can you spell your mom's last
excuse
name?
me.
Spell your mother's last name?
Sure, Abaz, Abaz, A-Y, B as in boy, A-Z.
Thank you.
So, okay, so for the record, I want to say my family's home, they've lived there since the early 60s. I grew up in that house next door to this property. First, I want to point out that, I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but I feel it's important to point out that that house had been abandoned for well over 10 years. And over the course of those 10 years, and plus more, it could be more than 10, I myself personally went to the town, to City Hall, to complain, to report that it was unkempt, that it was abandoned, there were squatters there, and we were actually very afraid that something bad would happen. And on August 31st, 2022, a horrendous fire broke out. It was the property that was there was a 3-story, 3-family house, not a single family house. And a fire broke out, and it damaged, including my mother's house. I think it was 10, including the house that burned down, 10, 11 houses, I believe, around the neighborhood. And it took us personally more than 5 months to bring my mother's house back into, out of the disrepair to repair it. It was horrendous, and not for lack of me personally going downtown and trying to get something done to have someone take responsibility for that property. So, and since that fire, and since then, it's almost been a year and a half that, again, that property, there's one big, where the house was, there's a big, like a sinkhole almost, where the basement is. They had put, the city came, they put fencing and tarp around it to prevent anyone from accessing. So one of the several people commented on the parking there. It is, yes, very dense in that neighborhood. Across from that property is a very large garden apartment complex. There's numerous multifamily houses there. Some of them are very large, and most of the people cannot fit their parking there. And I'm there every week to see my mother, to check on her. And my mother's house is blocked. The driveway's blocked. This property, they pulled down the fencing and the tarp that was there so they can access what's left of the driveway on this property to park in there. The people that already live there cannot fit their cars on there. So number one, that's a major area of concern for me, and I know the rest of the homeowners would be concerned on that street too. And also, again, because it's so dense, to have three houses that tight together, it just doesn't make sense. It's already so crowded, and it's going to be an eyesore because all the houses look different. If you looked at my mother's house, including the 2 houses next door to them, 4 houses, they all have a similar style. There's a house, and to the side is the driveway. That's how it should be. Put 2 houses there. And again, I remember one of the commissioners saying, you can't, just because you can build 3, should you be building 3? I personally would love to see this house, this property repaired and houses put up, and because it's a huge eyesore right now. I have gone to City Hall. I can't tell you how many times I've contacted the mayor, Andre, the city manager, our councilman, sending in pictures, texts, visiting them, going to the health department, the police department, the fire department to complain about how this person, whoever this entity that owns it right now, how they've neglected it, and they don't even come to clean up the garbage. So
I'm going to ask you, excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to ask you if you can just wind it down because
I understand. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I said everything. So you can understand my amount of distress over dealing with this property for so many years, and the fact that they want to squeeze in and bring in 6 more families, and we already can't fit. The people that live there cannot fit on that street as it is. It should be 2 houses, not 3.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Next caller, please.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello, this is Mr. Price calling. I live on
I'm sorry.
28th Street.
I'm sorry. You're going to have to, excuse me. I'm sorry. You're going to have to speak up. And for the record, please state your name and address for the record.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but we got a stenographer that's got to take records. So if she can't hear you, then she will let you know that. Can you hear him, Tony?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Just give me the name and
I'll put
address
it on.
again.
My name is Mr. Price, and my address is 284 East 28th Street in Paterson.
Mr. Price, what's your first name?
Michael.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. The reason why I called in is because I have a serious concern about the building in the city of Paterson. And just like the other commissioner said, just because you can do something, should you do it? That area in Paterson is the same as several other areas where building has been exploding in our city. And there's no real concern about how much we're building, as well as how it's impacting each community. So when we have people come in and they voice their concern saying that this is a positive build, and because of the area that's already dense, I don't think anybody's thinking about what the community really needs and how the homeowners that are paying these bills every month really feel. To take this area and to put 3 properties here, and then you look at the variances, it's almost like across the board, every variance is basically breaking the rules. And the way I see it is someone speaking?
No, sir, go ahead.
Okay.
That was
heard someone on the line. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. The way I see it is, if you're asking for a place you want to build, and you say, hey, we need a slight variance, that variance thing shouldn't be like a total rule breaker. So if you need 20 spaces, you should be providing for parking. You shouldn't be coming before this board and getting approval when you're only providing 25% of what the requirement is. And if you're building a dwelling and it's going to be a certain height, the same thing. We should have some guidelines here, but I feel like this board needs to do a better job outside of looking at whether they're going to have e-bikes. They need to look at parking and look at the number of people, human bodies that you're going to bring into a particular area. And to say that it's going to make this area better is virtually impossible. And the reason why I said it's impossible is because the people that are advocating for this, they have no studies, they have no proof, they have no documentation to justify what they're saying. And I say that because if they were using examples of other properties that have been built in the city, I haven't seen an example of any properties where it's made a neighborhood better in terms of parking and which made a neighborhood better in terms of how dense it is. Just to go along to get along, it's just not good for this city. And I feel like we need to finally begin to slow this thing down, because we don't have a homeless problem because people can't find an apartment. We have a surplus of apartments in the city of Paterson. This dwelling is not going to be a place where the homeowner is going to live. They're only generating more apartments. When does it stop? And we finally get a chance to say, you know what, we've got too many apartments. And when we have too many apartments, the landlords are going to foreclose on the properties. And when they foreclose on the properties, the taxpayers, the homeowners that live here, we're going to have to pay the bills because they're going to split all the taxes amongst all of us. So I'm just asking you guys to please consider this. If they want to build something that's going to keep the neighborhood the same, if you want to build 2 buildings there, fine. But I feel like 3 properties here is too much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Price. Anyone else on the line?
No.
There's no one else on the line. Okay, so we already had a summary, and I'm going to close the public portion.
I need a second.
Comments.
Second.
Thank you. All in
All
favor?
in favor? Thank you.
Fine. Okay, so Mr. Sarlo already summarized, so I'm going to ask if any commissioner would like to make a motion on this application. Would anyone like to make a motion, whether it be to approve or deny? We got to do something here.
Okay. Well, I'd like to make a motion to deny
Okay,
this project. I don't have the paperwork.
this is for the subdivision.
Now,
For the subdivision.
Commissioner,
It's the
Commissioner,
subdivision.
excuse me,
Sorry, wait.
Subdivision,
Madam Chair, this is on the subdivision, correct?
subdivision, right.
Yes, okay. So, okay, motion to deny. Okay, are there any other motions on the floor? Do I have a second for the denial?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Amar. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hassan, and it's affirmative on the denial, everyone. So,
Yes for the denial or no for the denial?
Commissioner Hassan?
Yes. Am I on the mute? No, I'm not on mute. Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Claudio?
Yes.
Commissioner Fisher?
Yes.
Commissioner Roman?
Yes.
Commissioner Amar?
Yes.
And Madam Chair Northrop?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Madam Chair, that there's no need for a vote.
There's no need, no, for the second, because there's no site plan because we don't have a division. Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you,
The
Commissioner.
application is
Thank you,
denied.
everyone. Thank you,
Madam
everyone.
Secretary,
Thank
sorry,
you.
Madam Secretary, for the record, the application is denied.
Yes, yes, got it.
Okay. So, okay, now, are the parties here for the second meeting?
I see Mr. Maraconda, yes, and Madam Chair, I don't know if you mind, I need at least a 5-minute break.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute break. It's 7:47. Excuse me, take a 5-minute break and we'll all meet back here in 5 minutes.
And just
Thank
hold
you.
on 1 second, I have to let Ryan know to put us on standby.
Yep. Did he do it?
He's doing it, just, we have to wait.